be able to convey our side of, or our version of the issues, and that's the reason we're here.
Thank you. I'm Fawzia Diba. I'm originally from Quetta Pishin area of Balochistan, in the border area between Afghanistan and Pakistan. I see a lot of my fellows from Balochistan here. Along with the Sindhis, we are in straight union together, and we really are for basic human rights of the southern Pakistani area also. My question, or rather a concern that I would like to share with all of you, and would direct it to Honorable Brad Sherman, that in your speech you mentioned about the ROZs, the Reconstruction Opportunity Zone, and a lot of funding for that area going from the US to promote development in that area. And you typically mentioned textile industry promotion in that area. Now my concern there is, where is textile industry really famous from? It's again the same Punjab area where these textile industries are all located. And hence I feel that again through the Reconstruction Opportunity Zone is a huge opportunity for that area to develop. Again, people from Punjab will be coming and becoming your partner direct hand in hand the way they were through the military and through the other ways. So you are again in partnership with Islamabad directly and Punjab. So what about the area itself? What about the local products of that area? Why not wool? Why not lamb? Why not milk products? Why not or hide of a camel? Why not these local products of that area? Why not dry fruit for that matter? Why not natural resources? Yeah, so I would really want to take your attention to that area itself, and if you could involve people from that area to discuss the Reconstruction Opportunity Zone project, because I had an opportunity to be an observer at the US Chamber of Commerce where ROZ project was being discussed. And I looked throughout the table, they were all from Punjab. Everybody, including the Minister of Commerce. So how do you design a project for an area without including people from that area in any form? Thank you so much, sir.
There are two issues. One is the existing ROZs, which, as I understand it in the bill, are focused mostly on areas near Afghanistan and areas where it would be difficult to establish a modern textile operation. The second issue is, for future discussion, is the idea of allowing more Pakistani textile imports from all over Pakistan to come to the United States. Now then the question would be, where would entrepreneurs establish the textile operation? Would Karachi, would other parts of Sindh, would the entrepreneurs step forward and say, we can make those garments here, or would it all go to the Punjab? And that requires an understanding of the Pakistani business practices and the availability of capital and entrepreneurship in the various parts of Pakistan that exceeds my knowledge. I frankly can't tell you whether if we made it easier to establish a factory to make shirts like this one, whether the person who would step forward would be a Sindhi or a Punjabi. I don't know enough about Pakistani business.
But if you focus on shirts only, you will hardly find a Pashtun doing that. Dry fruits and other
Yes.
products. See, look at the front. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, the focus is on textiles, and it would take. I will agree. It'd be very difficult to do in the Pashtun areas. That's why the special economic status is being granted. Whether anybody will think that special economic status is sufficient for them to do in the Pashtun areas that which ordinarily would not be done there, I don't know.
I guess the concern, Mr. Sherman, is that when you passed these bills, if there was a condition or a stipulation that these zones should be built in the rural, underserved, like even in this country. I'm a physician. When I came to this country, I was on a temporary visa. In order to get my citizenship, I had to work in what was defined as an underserved county. So I worked in a small town with 5,000 people for 4 years. So, and there are counties, there are districts and divisions in Pakistan which we know are underserved. So if in the bill, any bill, and we're not, the idea is not to put you on the spot. This is if you could put that kind of a stipulation that all these the developments should go to areas which are lacking behind in all. That was the whole idea.
Hello, I'm Jamal Hassan. I'm originally from Bangladesh. I'm a Bangladeshi American and also an advisor of the World Sindhi Institute. I have a question to Congressman Sherman. Do you think that war on terror only we can achieve the victory only through battlefield, or there is an ideological aspect on it? Thank you.
Well, that's a good question. I would, I'll let Mr. Sherman answer that. But our focus today is mainly in what is happening in Sindh and Balochistan. But if you want to answer that,
That's really more of a worldwide question than a Sindh question, but to give you the short answer, it can't be done exclusively militarily. It has to be done ideologically. It has to be done through development. It has to be done by winning people over. And the mix, I think, in terms of total dollars that we devote, ought to move toward the economic as opposed to the military. It is very easy to appropriate money for the United States military. Now, you get into great controversy on whether the military should be deployed, but Americans, by a large majority, want to see the military get dollars. To try to get the same dollars to economic development, to try to get 1/20th of those dollars to economic development is much more difficult. But whether it's public diplomacy, whether it's USAID or the military, those and other things are going to be necessary.
thank you.
It's a nonsense question. Wow. I'll go ahead and pose it. My name is Karim Abdian. I represent the largest coalition of ethnic groups in Iran: Baluch, Arabs, Turks, Azerbaijanis, Turkmens, and all. I asked that because our situation is very similar, like you Sindhis and Baluchis in Pakistan fighting fundamentalism, jihadism, and apartheid in Pakistan. We are fighting the same thing. We in Iran are fighting fundamental Islamism, Khomeinism, but also Persian nationalism. But in Iran, we are 2/3 of the country. My organization called Congress of Nationalities for a Federal Iran. We're about 47, 48 million. I'm an Arab Iranian. Now, my question is, if you want to fight fundamentalism, you really have to go beyond just Pakistan, Afghanistan. In the United States, my question to Congressman Sherman is that United States in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, is trying to impose a nation state. Well, Pakistan is not a nation state, nor is Afghanistan or Iran or Iraq or Syria. Okay, so we have to realize in this country that Sindhis have a right and they cannot be ruled by the Punjabis. In Iran, the Baluchis and the Arabs and the Kurds are ruled by a third, just 1/3 of the population, Persian. So I guess the broad question is that, is there a thinking in the US government that finally realized that it's not going to work, try to push a nation state in Pakistan or in Iran, but go beyond and hear the Sindhis, the Baluchis, and the Kurds, and the Arabs, and the rest? Thank you.
That was a good question. I appreciate it if you keep your questions short. Mr. Sherman, do you want to answer that? Or if you don't, you don't have to.
I would just say that it is difficult for the United States in dealing with all the countries of the world to understand in which countries the thinking is we want to maintain the territorial integrity of the country, and in which countries a majority of the people would like to see separate states created. Now, I don't know whether the people in Iran you represent want a federal Iran. You're nodding your head. I think that from the